We are Silver Lion's Playbook. This is a short story about how our relationship began. The blind date.
Coming into this, our group was set up by the admissions office. We knew that our learning team was put together by some mysterious algorithm.
But success can only come if we figured out how to build a lasting relationship. It was as much of a blind date as any of us have ever been on. Looking back, this was probably our forming period, characterized by a simple goal of getting off on the right foot, a little bit of sense-making, and a healthy dose of anxiety.
We were all intent on making good first impressions. It was an opportunity to learn about each other, go through all the resume items, figure out kind of what we were here and what we all brought to the table, and really explore what those early dynamics looked like.
We were able to break down initial barriers, get to know each other, and even win our cohort's pitch competition. Early on, our general confidence in devising a pitch and building interpersonal relationships allowed us to succeed in building early trust and boosting our confidence.
But our frequency was still low. We still had a fear of stepping on each other's toes, and we struggled early on to kind of being a little too polite, just being afraid to really get in each other's faces. Looking back, we see this period as a stage of team timidity or timidity. A stage of uncertainty where each of us was trying to figure out how we fit in, how our competencies, skills, and styles really intersected.
We felt like a high-functioning team, but looking back, we were functioning on a superficial level.
The honeymoon.
So, Fernando, tell me, how are you really feeling the Monday after orientation?
Orientation was great. It gave me a lot of opportunities to meet new people, but to be honest, I felt like nobody was leaving the very public window and everybody was being too formal.
Yeah, I know what you mean. We built a lot of cognitive trust with each other, winning a competition within our cohort, but we really hadn't dug deeper and formed interpersonal bonds with effective trust. Given Hackman's model of our individual characteristics that are really strong in propelling us, as well as our environmental factors, I thought it was important that we all be on the same page and know each other's roots. For me, it was important to kind of disclose more about myself and the loss that I've recently suffered with my mom. And I felt it really kind of bonded me closer to you and then the rest of the group.
I'm not really a good active listener, but with your story, oh God, I just couldn't stop hearing.
I mean, honestly, it felt really great. I had a new set of friends that I felt really bonded to. They were comfortable opening up to me, and I was comfortable opening up to them. To be honest, I thought it was time to take our relationships to the next level, as we learned from class, a social contract.
Totally agree. Social contracts are very powerful if they are conceived together. Building our foundations document, which set our norms, our rules, our processes to build and discuss different topics, it really felt like that was pumping the team.
Yeah.
We even came with a unique technique to measure our agreement in each phase of our process.
Yeah, the 5-finger roll.
Guys, let's get a sense of how we're feeling on the presentation script. 1 is you're totally opposed, 5 is you're totally on board, 3 is you can live with it and support it. We won't move forward until everyone is at a 3 or a 5. Let's take a vote. All right, Jesse, you have a 2. What's up?
Yeah, my concern is...
I do think we had a great document, that foundation, but we were still wearing rose-colored glasses. We had done a lot of doing, we'd done a lot of reflection, but we hadn't put it to practice and applied ourselves. So I think we needed to go through something more before we really understood how we were working as a team.
Our first fight. That was definitely a struggle, that hurricane case. I mean, we didn't come up with a process, we didn't define roles in the beginning, we were wasting a lot of time just trying to talk over each other. But thankfully early on we realized that, we're making very little progress with our current approach, and as a team we came together to figure out the process, right? We set that process early on, and that's one of the key lessons we learned from that exercise. But admittedly we did struggle. We showed a lot of maturity and recognized that we wanted to give each other an equal opportunity to lead. It was then that our actual learnings emerged, right? After the case, or maybe even in the middle of the case when we had about 15 minutes left, rushing to find the answer. We were able to tap into our collective intelligence and make much more effective lists.
Yeah, actually, you're right. Initially, it was really tough because everybody was talking and I was trying to pitch an idea. And initially, I couldn't get my voice heard. But once I got a chance and we did move forward with one strategy, I think the results speak for themselves, because we were able to finish the activity on time, and frankly, our collective list was way better than what we came up with individually, almost by 18 points. So that clearly goes to show that we are much greater than the sum of our parts.
Exactly. Yeah, so Rakesh did a good job persuading. I mean, Conger said it best. Persuader must match his or her emotional fervor to the audience's ability to receive the message.
So guys, let's not forget Tanagram and Lego Man. So when Tanagram started, it was a complete mess. We walked in without any sort of information. There was just an asymmetry between the leaders at the top who were leading us and also the team members. And when I first walked in, I don't know how you guys felt, but we were handed 2 pieces of information with directions, but there was no real sense of where we were going, no blueprint for us to follow. So ultimately it showed in our results. We just didn't complete Tanagram. But then, when we approached Lego Man, we tried to compensate for that. We corrected our mistakes, had a facilitator who was in charge of building and looking at the Lego Man model and executing it. But also, our team members were involved from the get-go, whether it was delineating the process that helped with the completion of Lego Man, or even the coordination that brought the entire Lego Man together. And ultimately, we were very successful. We completed Lego Man in 3 minutes and 50 seconds, the second best in the class. I think that's pretty great.
Great point. Hey, which reminds me, Susanna and Katie are in the other room. You guys want to check on them?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, let's go. Lasting love.
Katie, it's been such a crazy week, but so fun too. What do you think we should have done differently?
Well, we definitely fell on our face a couple of times, but I guess we learned from it. And as IDEO, the company, suggests, failing fast and often can also lead to sooner success. Looking back, I guess now we understand why we performed the way we did and what we can learn from it. And Heckman suggests with his model that performing teams as we are commonly fall into 2 traps. First, they are fooled by competition, and second, by their audience. And I guess we fell into both of those. And we wanted to win, and we wanted to stand out from our classmates. And throughout the week, we really had to develop a process how to approach projects more coordinatedly and strategically, and to build on our great rapport which we already had. Like this, we were able to develop our group synergy and are now on a good road to a successful future.
Cool. So what are the things that you think we should reinforce?
Well, I guess we did a pretty good job recognizing the experts in our group, building on the great rapport which we already had, and also facilitating our meetings in a better way.
Yeah, because it helps us move from phase to phase when we have someone who's keeping us on track.
What is there to do for us as a team to stay on track in the future?
Well, I think there's a couple things we could do. I'm thinking about how Hackman talked about how we could evaluate team effectiveness by thinking about our output, our individual growth, and our growth as a team. So if we create a survey that we all take about once a month, we can touch on all those points. Take a look at this.
Absolutely.
So here we are talking about outcomes, how if we think we worked efficiently, if we're proud of our output, and then we're evaluating our personal growth. Do we think we spoke an appropriate amount? Did we feel heard? Did we get to practice skills? And then finally, are we growing and learning as a unit? Did we communicate respectfully? Are we following a structure and process? Are we defining roles and responsibilities? And did everyone contribute? These are all things that we've been talking about throughout the week, and hopefully if we all take this survey, we'll get a sense of how we're evolving as a team. There are 2 other things that I think we should do at these monthly meetings. First, I think we should all start off the semester by thinking about 3 to 5 things that we want to work on individually. So for example, I really want to work on my facilitation skills. Every month we can sort of check in on how we each think that we're doing on those points and support each other in reaching those goals. At the end of the semester, we can all tell each other how we feel like we've been doing. Also, I think we should revisit our Team Foundations document about once a month. Are there processes or structures or roles that we want to change? I think it's important that we keep talking about that.
Absolutely.
Like any marriage, there are definitely challenges, and I'm sure that there's more storming to come. But with our strong rapport, our open communication, and our defined expectations, I think we're prepared to achieve greatness.